My name is Uzabihange. I'm such in a good mood today because I'm going to be talking about how I went from being shy to being this bubbly, lively, and confident person. Well, at least I think that I'm confident. So let's jump right into it. But first, if you're here and you haven't subscribed for whatever reason, please do make sure that you subscribe. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. And also, if you just joined in, really, I appreciate each one of you. So please do make sure that you subscribe and like and share this video. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's jump right into the video. So I'm just going to be freestyling. Yeah, I'm just going to be talking about shyness and confidence and how to get from being shy to being confident. And I'm going to be using myself as an example because I used to be painfully shy. It wasn't nice and cute at all. Well, mine was actually, it wasn't all the time. My shyness was somewhat selective. Yes. There were times when I was oozing with so much confidence, especially when I'm supposed to have a presentation, let me say for class, I would nail it. If I was supposed to speak in front of people, I would nail it. Honestly, I gotten to realize that my confidence was rooted in the importance that I gave to the task that I was supposed to do, and it was also rooted in the information that I had. So let me say, if like I talked about the presentation thingy, if I'm supposed to deliver a presentation on something, and I do my research and I do my homework, I do my slides, I am confident with my work, I am confident with each word that I'm going to speak, then I just nail it. Also, I was a lot more confident when it came to creative stuff. I love to sing. It's probably something new that you don't know about me, but yes, I love to sing. So I used to be in the church choir, guys. Yes, and you're probably thinking, you were in the church choir and you're out here telling us that you were never confident. Guys, I'm still coming to the shy part, okay? Yes, I was in the church choir. Imagine singing in front of multitudes of people at church. So when it had something to do with being creative, I was just in the moment. I was not worried about what anybody else is thinking. I was just doing my own thing because it in a way fed my soul. So yeah, what else did I do to show that I'd always been confident? I have joined beauty pageants. Yes, I was in that industry, beauty pageants and modeling, but because I was very stubborn, honestly I was very stubborn, especially in the modeling industry, because of the things that were happening. The industry is quite toxic and I don't like it, so there were certain things that I didn't want to do, and that is why my career never really boomed when it comes to modeling. But anyway, that is not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about confidence and shyness. Yeah, so let's get to the juicy part now. There were times when I was shy, and for the most part, honestly, it had to do with relationships, especially if I really liked the person. Like I would become a nervous wreck around that person that I had a crush on or that I really liked. There was this other time I dated a guy. Yes, I really fancied him, and then I was just a nervous wreck around the guy, to a point where I didn't know what to say when I was around him. Would be in a room, would be talking. He was also so much into me, and he would be doing most of the talking all the time. I was just there, just staring at him like, oh my goodness, he's just so cute, he's just so smart, he's all these things. And honestly, I felt like he was the most perfect human being I'd ever met. Therefore, I just didn't know how to act around him. I did not know what to do around that person. Have you ever just been in awe and you just look at this person, you're like, does this person really exist? Is he even real? Why is he into me? Why is he into a person like me? And guess what? he felt the same way about me. No, okay, not the part where why am I into him and everything. He was probably insecure with himself. And yeah, he spoke so highly of me. And he once said these words to me, that you are afraid to shine. And right now I'm still debating whether I was really shy or I was just too modest and too humble and too meek, and I just didn't want to be on the spotlight. I don't know, but it's also contradictory because I was in these beauty pageants which were in the public eye. So, but honestly, I was afraid to shine, and he was right. I would dim my light so that the other person would shine, and that is not how the beauty industry works. That is not how these beauty pageants work. You have to put the other person down so that you shine. You know what I mean? And I'm not that person, and I never got to do that. But also, I'm not even going to pin that on the industry itself. Just me, on my own, I was afraid. I don't know why I was afraid. I was just afraid of expressing my inner core. Let me say I want to dance, or I just want to do something stupid. I think I was just overly hung up on this idea that I always had to have it figured out all the time. I always had to be tough. I always had to be mature all the time. If I don't know why I was like that. But then again, when I did the soul work, when I did the self-discovery, I wrote a book, Self-Love is Up There with Oxygen, and it was a game changer, guys, for me. Because I had to sit down with myself and be like, why are you like this? Why do you make these choices? Why are you afraid to shine? Why would you rather dim your light so that the other person can shine? Why can't you both shine at the same time? You know what I mean? And then I realized that some of these things are rooted in childhood, where I was never that person who had a lot of friends, you know. I didn't have a lot of friends. I was into sports, but sometimes my parents didn't really want me to play sports. And also, in a way, I had to like help at home, take care of my siblings. I never really got time to be a child, you know what I mean? I never got to socialize. I never partied. I never did none of that. And I was socially awkward. When I'm supposed to talk to people, especially small talk, it was draining, and I felt like it was pointless. I didn't want to be a part of it, honestly. I don't know. I'm just not a nosy person, you know. So when I have to engage in that sort of conversation, it doesn't fit my soul, and I don't want to be a part of it. So sometimes it's not like you're shy, you're just an introvert, and you just enjoy your own company, and you don't enjoy having small talk, really. That's all there is to it. If there's somebody who wants to have deep conversation 24/7, guys, ask my friends who we've had such conversations with. They're like, Uzi, you talk too much. And right now, everybody, okay, not everybody, the people that I'm close with actually think that I'm an extrovert. When I tell them that I'm introverted, I enjoy being on my own. Like, you, introverted, are you kidding me? Right now, I would say I'm an ambivert. I'm a bit of both. There are times when, let me say, we go out dancing with my friends, we're just having a good time. And sometimes just go quiet. Not because something is wrong with me, not because I'm moody, not because I'm upset or anything. I just don't want to talk. Or sometimes my social battery just runs out. So how to get from that point where you're shy to a point where you're confident, honestly, you have to do the soul work. You have to sit down and have that conversation with yourself. Why is this happening? Why am I afraid to talk to people? If you're an introvert, if you don't like talking to people, and it does not in any way affect your life, then it's okay, you don't have to change it. But if you feel like it's in a way affecting you, if you're in an interview and you become a nervous wreck and you can't speak confidently because you're too worried about what your potential employer is going to say, then you have a problem and it has to be changed. And also, if you're, let me say you're a guy and you want to approach a a girl or a woman, and you become shy and you're worried that you're going to be rejected, then it's something that you need to change, because you can't live in that place where you're not going for the things that you love only because you're too hung up on what are people going to say. And honestly, that is where shyness comes from. It's you may think that you're that person who knows your worth, who knows your value, but at the end of the day, if you're shy, it comes down to you're too worried about what people are going to say. You're too self-conscious when you're having a conversation with a person. And the simple things that you can do, honestly, when you're having a conversation with a person, or when you're in a job interview, I'm talking a little too fast, right? This is how I talk when I'm just comfortable, guys. It's not like I'm nervous or anything. So yeah, when you're in an interview, you just want to make sure that you do not worry about what the employer has to say. What I always tell people is that you have to put in the work. If you put in the work, if you do your research, guys, if you're confident in yourself, if you're confident in your skills, you go there and present present yourself, present yourself as you are. And because you're confident that, you know what, I have this skill set, I have done 1, 2, 3. Even if you haven't done anything, you can talk about your potential, because you know that you're going to put in the work once you get hired. So worry much about, it's like we worry too much about the end result instead of the process. Trust the process, and who you become in the process is a lot more important than the outcome, really. If you keep on putting in the work and then you go to that interview, you're confident. Honestly, confidence is just, I know what I'm doing, I know my thing, I've done this before, and I can prove to you that I have done it. But if you're just very much worried about what they're gonna say, being hired, then you're going to ruin your interview, guys, because guess what, you're going to be a nervous wreck. And then what happens when you're nervous? You start panicking and you keep forgetting things, and it becomes a whole mess. So put in the work, guys, put in the work. Another thing, when it comes to relationships, I would say, or anywhere really, know your worth. And by knowing your worth, I don't mean knowing it and just sitting there waiting for another person to come and validate it. I was also having a conversation with this other person. I have conversations with people all the time, and I always remember them, especially when I do. We had this conversation, and this person was saying that they know their worth. They know that they're smart, but there was a time, I'm not even sure if the person is going to be comfortable with me sharing this. That is why I'm just like, should I or shouldn't I? But anyway, the person was just sitting at home, not doing anything, hoping that an employer would come and notice that the worth, they notice their value, and then hire them, instead of them doing something for themselves with the skill set that they have, instead of them starting a business. There's no employment in Botswana. The unemployment rate is skyrocketing. So even if you're worthy, even if you're valuable, even if you are educated or whatever, you cannot sit down and wait for the government to come and employ you. You cannot wait for that company to hunt you down and come and employ you. So yeah, that is the thing. You have to know your worth, you have to know your value, and you do not have to wait for another person to come and validate you. Let me say, yeah, I was talking about relationships. In a relationship, I know that I am I don't want to boast right now. I know that I know that I'm well, some people say that I'm beautiful. There it is. I'm afraid of shining right now. I know that I'm beautiful. Let me just say it. We're talking about confidence after all. I'm not boasting, guys. Yes, I know that I'm beautiful. I know that I'm smart. I know that I'm lovable. I know that I'm these many awesome things, I know that I have a caring heart. I know that I'm all these nice things. But when you're in a relationship with somebody, or when you have a crush, and then you become a nervous wreck around them, then it means you're saying, I'm not enough for this person, or that you're not good enough for that person, or you're saying, I'm lacking in this area, therefore I don't deserve to be with this person. You know what I mean? So do not wait for a relationship to come and validate you. Do not wait for that job to come and validate you. Validate yourself. That is what self-love is all about, honestly. I don't know, I can never talk about anything without mentioning self-love. So you need to love yourself. That's another thing. You need to love yourself. You need to know your worth. You need to know your value. And you do not have to wait for something outside of yourself to come and validate you and tell you that you're beautiful, therefore you deserve this person. After all, honestly, those things don't matter. Guess what? You'll be out here chilling with that guy and you're looking at them, you're a nervous wreck. And guess what? They're probably nervous also around you because they can see that you are beautiful as well. They can see that you're smart. They can see those nice things. They can see that you have a good heart. And they're also doing the same. People, for the most part, are just worried about themselves. That is the human nature, really. An example is when you are looking at back at those pictures or selfies that you took with your friends. What do? The first thing that you do, you look at yourself. You don't look at the other people. That is just how human beings are. You're out here worrying about yourself, worrying about saying things the right way, worrying about the other person liking you. They're also worrying about the same thing. So relax, baby. Relax. Oh my goodness, I'm talking a little too much. So yeah, this was just a chat that I needed to have with you, my people. There is more of this. There is more of all of this came from. So do make sure that you subscribe and ring that bell because there's more content that is coming and you want to be notified every time we post a video. That's another thing, guys, that I need to do. Is I refer to myself as we. I don't know why, but it is what it is. Anyway, see you on the other side. Thank you so much for joining in.